The Steelers have their guy. The fourth head coach since 1969 is going to be Mike McCarthy. Pittsburgh is hiring the Yinzer himself. In fact, this AI image must have been totally real image. No cigarette in the ear anymore. So Mike McCarthy, he is the guy. You guys know who I wanted. I wanted Chris Shula. Steelers didn't. They chose McCarthy over guys like Shula. Jesse Minter, I think, would have had a shot at it. I don't know if they would have been able to wrestle him away from Baltimore. Anthony Weaver became popular. Brian Flores. They're going McCarthy. So the Steelers break the mold of young 30-year-something defensive coordinator, first-time head coach. That's worked for them. That's been the trend. The last 45 years, they've hired two guys who are already in Canton and Chuck Noll, who arguably is one of, if not the greatest coach of all time. Bill Cowher, Hall of Famer, and then Mike Tomlin, despite all of his flaws, also a guy who is going to wind up in Canton. Mike McCarthy, there's a little bit of a history there with Omar Khan going back to their New Orleans days, but we're talking like 20-plus years ago. Wow. Steelers have an offensive mind. Is Mike McCarthy an offensive genius? No, but he is also the best offensive mind Pittsburgh has had probably since Bruce Arians, whose final year with the team was in 2011. Todd Haley was decent, but he clears Randy Fichtner, who, by the way, all you guys who are pissed at me and saying that Will Howard deserves a shot because Big Ben, John Gruden, Big Ben thinks Randy Fichtner's an offensive genius. So let's simmer down on that. Is he Kyle Shanahan? Is he anyone from the McShanahan tree? No, but also he's an upgrade over Matt Canada and Randy Fichtner, so we shall see. So I talked about the connection with Omar Khan. That's probably the connection that's not going to get a lot of coverage. The connection that is going to get a lot of coverage is Aaron Rodgers. Does Aaron come back for another year? If there was anybody who could probably get him to come back to another year with the Steelers, I still think it's very possible that he plays another season elsewhere. It would be Mike McCarthy. Now, people forget, just because you worked with someone in the past doesn't mean that it ended on good terms and you want to work with each other again. The Mike McCarthy-Aaron Rodgers relationship had soured to some degree. I still think that they're buddies and civil. So could I see them wanting to get back together? Of course. But we just take it for granted. Like, oh, so-and-so worked with so-and-so 6 years ago. They must be buddies. They must want to work together again. That's not really always the case. I called Christian. It's 4:30 where he's at in the world, and he is not happy. He says he is looking for a new team. I wanted Shula. I like Big Mike. I think that he deserves a lot of hate that's not necessarily warranted. This move does not necessarily excite a fan.